Okay, story time. So I work at a jewelry store, and today a man came in looking for a gift for his wife for their 10th year anniversary. He ended up picking out a piece that said, "My beautiful wife." And I said, "Anything else for you today?" And he said, "No, that's it for her, but I do want to make another purchase using a separate credit card. And could you possibly create a different account for me?" And I said, "Sure, what are you looking for?" And he said, "Do you have anything that says girlfriend?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Perfect, I'll take it. And do you have anything that says happy 1 year anniversary to go with it?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Perfect, I'll take it." So I boxed everything up all nice and I put them in their respected bags. He had me mark a K for Kristen on the bottom of his wife's bag and an L for Laura on the bottom of his girlfriend's bag. I put pretty bows on them. I handed it to him. I said, "They're gonna love it. Have a nice day." And he said, "Thank you." And shit, I just remembered that his wife's name is Laura and his girlfriend's name is Kristen. I must have mixed up the bags. Oops.
My dad grew up in the Bronx, and he used to be best friends with a serial killer named David Berkowitz. Son of Sam, if you don't know, that's the guy who went around the 70s killing people with a gun. My dad played basketball with this guy every single day. I was like, "Dad, that's disturbing. Who won?" And my dad verbatim goes, "Berkowitz trials and the only court he lost in." Terrible at defense, but everyone knows he was a great shooter. My dad actually went to the trial. They asked David Berkowitz to the trial. They go, "Why'd you do it?" And he goes, "There's a dog outside my window telling me to kill people." My dad stands up in court and goes, "Holy shit! That was a prank!"
So once upon a time, I was moving out of my condo in Miami. I had to fly out by myself and handle everything in 48 hours. It was a lot. But since I'm smart and savvy, I listed everything on Craigslist and let go instead of trying to do it myself. Almost everything is moved out after the first day. Until the building manager, Wendy, I'll never forget her name, calls the cops on me because I didn't reserve the elevator. Queen of petty. This lady despised me and was also super racist and waited to call the cops until a black man and his son were picking things up. Wendy had no problem with all the white girls coming the day before, but then when a black man comes through, she calls the cops. Now, usually I would be really timid when dealing with cops, but I was livid because Wendy was trying to give them a fine. So I kind of went off. I explained to the cops that Wendy was bored and racist, amongst a plethora of other things, and they basically laughed and left. Then I left a legendary novel review on Yelp and Google. I still get DMs about them. Moral of the story is to stand up for other people and don't be a fucking racist like Wendy.
You know what I find funny? How the school system will teach us how to memorize pages and pages of useless and indoctrinated information that we could literally look up within seconds, but they fail to teach us the most important things in life, like, I don't know, creativity, imagination, self-awareness, how to love other people, communication skills, how to challenge ideas, how to grow our own food, how to self-defend, how to build, and overall just how to think for ourselves. Or literally anything about money, debt, or taxes. Or I don't know, just finding our passions and true talents in life. But no, they teach us what to think and not how to think. Just a thought.
I'm going to be telling you the story of a haunted house, better known today as the Sallie House. The Sallie House is located in Kansas, and it is said to be one of the most haunted houses in history and is still haunted to this day. So, now that you know that, I will get right into the story. The house was built in the 1800s. It was white, 2 stories, 3 bedrooms, and perfect for a small family. Deborah and Tony Pickman moved into this house in 1992. They were so excited to finally own a house, especially due to the fact that Deborah was pregnant with their first child. Right as they moved in, they quickly made one of the upstairs bedrooms into a nursery. They noticed right away that lights would flicker, the phone would ring and no one would be there, timers would go off. But once their son was born, way more things started to happen. They came home one night and went upstairs to put their son to bed. When they walked into the room, they see that all of his stuffed animals have been placed in a circle, facing each other. Every single stuffed animal's hands were touching. Stay tuned for part 2.
Just found out I leaked my own nudes. Story time. So about a month ago, my manager came over and she took me to the side and she was like, "I don't want to alarm you, but I've dealt with it. There was a man threatening to leak indecent images of you if you don't send him more." Huh? She said, "Yeah. He has pictures of your jubblies." Excuse me, I have the chest of a 12-year-old boy. There is nothing to capture. It's just bone. I don't take pictures of that. Ever. Like, I'd understand if I had double D's, but baby, I've got -A's. So I said, "Thank you for dealing with a cheeky bit of blackmail in my business email, but he's lying. Let's move forward." So I forgot about it. And then today, I'm uploading a YouTube video, and I haven't checked my channel in ages. What do I see when I check it? Ads limited due to nudity on one of my vlogs. Which vlog is it, you might ask?
I'll vlog getting my nips pierced.
I need to take a class on how to blur correctly. My itty bitty titty committee is on the internet. If you're about to check, please subscribe. And also, I'm sorry in advance. If yours are small, it might make you feel better.
Naked people are doing the nasty at the beach again. Story time. Me, my mom, my little sister, and my boyfriend went to the beach. We were having a very, very nice day until my little sister, keep in mind, she is 14 years old, sees this couple having sex on the beach. And no, I'm not talking about the drink. So at this beach, they had cute little logs and sticks to make a fort. And there were forts all over this beach. Well, me and my family are chilling in the fort. And my little sister randomly looks at us and she's like, guys, that doesn't look right. We all look over and see this couple getting down and dirty. So my mom takes my little sister on a walk while me and my boyfriend were gonna confront these little nasties. But fortunately, we didn't have to because this group of teenagers walked up to the couple and started going off. As they should. Whole time I was sitting in the background like, period. Anyway, someone please tell me why I'm always with my little siblings every time I see naked people. And if y'all happen to see this, you know who you are. Get a room next time. Nasty.
Kevin, give this to Kevin.
Give this to Kevin.
Give this to Kevin.
Give this to Kevin. Kevin.
Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin.
Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin.
Give this to Kevin.
Give this to Kevin. Here you go, Kevin. Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here.
What?
Extremely toxic best friend story time. So when I was in 8th grade, there was this boy. And this boy would go around telling almost every girl that he liked her. And I was one of those girls. And he would do stuff with all of us. And there were like 11 of us. So we all hated each other. Especially this one girl, and we're gonna call her Abby. And every time we saw each other, we would be super mean to each other. Well, a year passed, we stopped talking to this kid. And I bumped into her at homecoming and basically apologized. So after that, we became best friends. And everything was good until every time I told her about a guy, she would start talking to them. Like this one boy that I was Snapchatting and talking to, she accidentally sent nudes to him and said, "Oh, sorry, I meant to send them to my boyfriend." So then she called one of my other best friends and said, "No, it actually wasn't an accident." And of course he told me because he was my best friend. So I was like, whatever, and stopped talking to the boy. And she did it again, like for part 2.
I'm gonna tell y'all about the time I was toxic. Story time. So let me throw it back to the time me and my boyfriend started dating. I was crazy in love. Emphasis on the crazy part. Well, anyways, one day we made plans to hang out, and I was supposed to drive to his house after work. So I get off work and I realize that he hasn't messaged me in 5 hours, which isn't something he normally does. So I started freaking out. And not gonna lie, at the time, I had my speculations about a couple girls. So I messaged him, "Hey, I just got off work." And I waited about 30 minutes and still nothing. So that's when I said, I'ma head out. And I drove to his house. Keep in mind, at the time, he lived an hour away from me. So I drove to his house, and tell me why on the way there, my car breaks down. Like my car was literally smoking. But the good news is I was only like 2 minutes away from his house. So I park at this nearby Starbucks and I start running to his house. The very first thing I did when I got to his house was look through his window. Yes, I told you guys I was crazy. Part 2 is gonna be embarrassing.
Story time about how my boyfriend was cheating on me with my stepsister. So a little background information, my mom remarried whenever I was in 8th grade, and my stepdad had 2 daughters. One which was my age and we got along really well. Well, before my sisters and I went back to school, my mom wanted to go on a camping trip with everyone. And my boyfriend was coming because he was really close with my family. So while my stepsister and I are packing up, she starts acting really weird. And we're gonna call my boyfriend Kevin. She was like, "Oh, is Kevin still coming with us?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Oh, are you and Kevin still together?" And I'm like, "We were never broken up. Like, the fuck?" Like I said, she was just being super fucking weird. But anyways, we all get in the car, we drive up there, and her and Kevin start being super weird around each other. Like, they were being too touchy. Anytime that I wanted to go do something with Kevin, she would say, "Oh, Kevin, you can come do this instead." Well, that night, Kevin and I are sleeping in our tent. At least I thought he was. And I wake up to some loud noises in the other tent, like for part 2.
our final for PE. Basically, we had to run like 7 laps in 20 minutes, whatever. So long story short, everyone starts running, you know, moving their legs so fast. And then people start finishing. I was like, oh my God, ew. So at this point, it's like 45 minutes. The whole class is done except me, and everyone's just watching me run. Like, we had this one kid named Pedro, who each time I did a lap, he'd be like, finally. Like, thank you, Pedro. Thank you. So then the teacher stops me, and he's like, you're so slow. And then the teacher's like, you're not gonna graduate because...
So when I was a sophomore in high school, I had this teacher who would only let the students in her class use the restroom one time per semester. Well, one day I raised my hand and I was like, excuse me, I don't remember her name. Can I please use the restroom? And she was like, no, you can't because you've already used the restroom in my class this semester. Well, excuse me, you can't dictate my bladder. So I'm like all frustrated, and I started secretly texting my mom because I wasn't allowed to use my phone in class. And I was like, Mom, I'm sitting in class right now. My teacher won't let me use the restroom. And she was like, I'll take care of it for you. And I was like, okay. So like 5 minutes goes by, and all of a sudden my teacher's phone starts ringing. And she walks up to it and answers it, and she's like, hello? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then she walks up to me like so angry, and she like slams the pass on my desk, and she was like, since you have to go that bad. And I was like, yeah, I really do, thanks. And I got up and left. I didn't even have to go to the bathroom. It was just the principle of it. I just roamed the halls.
Once upon a time, I started talking to this really hot guy, and we went to EPLP rooftop in LA with some friends. And then this really drunk girl comes up and starts flirting with him, aggressively. But I wanted to see how he handled it, so I didn't intervene. And my life coach was in town, so he was there to calm me down. So I did what any girl would do in that situation. I went to go take a shot, and of course had my friends watching his every move. I can't wait for the full report. And then when I came back, this girl straight up said, you're hot, let's go make babies. But we both hate kids. I'm not above anybody else. I wanted to go straight for her jugular. But I didn't. I really could have used Brianna Chicken Fry's help with this one. Just, clock her. What was his move going to be? This is going to tell me so much about him. Like, you don't want a rude boy, but you also don't want a flirty boy, you know what I mean? His response was, no thank you, I'm seeing someone. And homeboy's gonna like... Just kidding, I can't do that. Moral of the story is not all men are trash.
Story time. So just when I thought dating couldn't get any worse, surprise, it did. I went on this date. It was like a FaceTime date the other night with this guy, and it was going okay at first. It was a little bit awkward, but it was fine. Pretty soon into the date, he asked me what my type was. And I said, well, I don't really have a type. Like, you know, all my exes are pretty different, which is true. And then I asked him what his type was. He looked me straight in the eye.
Hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. It does help support us, and let's know what videos you guys want to see.